Hello, everybody. We can level up again. The end of last episode, we're trying to make it to the starport. We did. Now we're ready to go to our ship. And I'm not sure what we're going to find there. But before we do, we get to pick our next tier of archetype. We have more than one operative. We've actually got Anya, Adira, and Pascal. Now, this grand strategist, it says a master of battlefield positioning for themselves and their allies were able to increase the effectiveness of our party by strengthening important parts of the battlefield. And this is kind of what I do already. It fits Anya as a leader, so we are going to give her that. As far as Abelard goes, he's definitely not an assassin. We're going to put him at Vanguard. All right, now, Adira is going to be my assassin. It just fits her. Argenta. Now, she has a choice. She's a soldier, so she can be a bounty hunter, methodological killers, which she kind of is. Master tactician. She is always in the thick of battle. And then there's the arch militant. We're going to go with master tactician for her. Pascal is my other operative, so he's going to be the bounty hunter. And I'm going to put Heinrichs as an assassin simply because he's an inquisitor, and that's kind of what they do. They interrogate and they torture. And there we go, everybody. All right, everybody, on to the bridge. Boss Master Victus. Thanks be to the Emperor, you're alive. We are most gratified by your return, and the crew is full of zeal to carry out any orders you may have. What is the current situation on board? The navigator's sanctum is no longer empty, but the warp engine is still refusing to obey the engine seers. Without it, we cannot perform a warp jump. Pascal's voice buzzes. It may be angry, or perhaps it is lamenting the injuries it has suffered. I will immediately initiate preparations for a prayer service. If the Omnissiah grants me comprehension, I will appease the machine spirit of this vessel. Thank you, Pascal. What is the account of what happened to the system's sun? Lord Captain, we saw a number of ships approach the sun. Black creations of inhuman make, amalgams of sharp angles and edges. They surrounded the star, and then... My apologies, but I struggle to find words. The Xenos made the sun vanish into the void. Drukhari. You see Abelard's expression change, as if a shadow has suddenly fallen over him. He rubs his temple wearily. As if we did not have enough trouble on our hands. Can you elaborate, Heinrichs? I'm talking about Xenos, rogue trader, the Aldari, one of humanity's most ancient enemies. More specifically, I'm referring to the most cruel and devious of their kind. The design of their ships matches the description provided by the Voxmaster. Like all Xenos, the Drukhari are a blight on the face of the galaxy, but their technological superiority is indisputable. They abhor and fear warp sorcery, which is why they rely on creations of their twisted intellect. Many of those creations are capable of things that may seem akin to sorcery to the unenlightened eye. The theft of a sun is one example of what they're capable of. Are the Xenos in league with Aurora's cultists? We can rule out that possibility. The Drukhari would never ally themselves with the archenemy's worshippers. If I had to name one thing that humanity and the Xenos have in common, it would be a shared loathing for warp corruption. The situation calls for immediate action, Anya. We can continue this conversation later if you so wish, but right now, I believe you should assume command. What is happening on the planet right now? Our augur operators are reporting numerous uprisings and other manifestations of the arch-enemy's powers at various locations on the planet. Based on the fragments of communications picked up by our Vox operators, there's practically no resistance being offered by the governor's forces. Millions of people are converting to the blasphemous Final Dawn cult en masse and assembling in prayer circles. Oh, that's not good. Do we have any hope of retaking the planet? I fear that Rykad Minoris is lost. The situation is deteriorating by the minute. We must leave this system as soon as possible. However, there's still people on the planet who've not succumbed to hearsay, and who are worthy of rescue. And besides the small number of our own shuttles, we also have the shuttle salvaged from the starport. The dark eyes of the Sister of Battle flash. We must save as many as we can. This has all happened for a reason. Saint Argenta, whose name I carry with reverence and trepidation, is famed for saving the people of a dying world through the power of prayer. The God Emperor himself has sent a star from the heavens that lifted the saint and her followers up to the sky, away from corruption and death. We must do as she did. Direct all our efforts to saving those people who at this moment look to the heavens in hope of salvation. Well, being an iconoclast, I have to agree. But let's see what my choices are. The lives of the peasants are of little value. Our prime objective is to save the holy relic, the miraculous fusion reactor. Abelard furrows his brow. Every moment we spend in proximity to a dying world, we are putting ourselves at risk. Your life, Lord Captain, is far more valuable than all of Rykad Minoris. The Von Valencius dynasty cannot be allowed to perish. Heinrich's eyes, like two deep dark pools, are fixed on you. The world is doomed, and its inhabitants along with it. The disappearance of the star was the final nudge toward death, the finale of the cult of the Final Dawn's plans. I once witnessed a similar event, a world that had surrendered to the servants of the archenemy and permitted corruption to enter too deep. At this moment, millions of people are bowing down before those who promised them salvation, and they are willingly giving their souls to chaos. A sacrifice great enough to bring forth a demon world. Oh, yeah, that's not good. You're right there. I mean, we can't save everyone. Our only hope of stopping this process is to retreat to a safe distance from the planet and conduct targeted bombing of the Electro-Priest's monastery. If we blow up the reactor, a thermonuclear reaction will follow. The world's oxygen will evaporate, killing off the entire biosphere. In doing this, we will save millions of souls from a fate far worse than death, and we will save Rykad Minoris from being the outpost of the archenemy. Cassia chimes in. Whatever fate you choose for this world, I urge you to make haste, Lord Captain. The planet is burning, raging flashes of crimson and purple. I can see it, even from orbit, as do I see that storm is already upon us. With every moment we waste, it grows ever more difficult and perilous to steer the ship through the warp's turbulent currents. Indira, I'm with the lady on this. Enough talking. We need to get out of here while we still can. Something lurking in the depths of your consciousness bristles at the passing thought of saving people. The spike of horror you feel takes your breath away. It's as if you're planning to steal the prey of a mighty predator. The planet is already wrapped in a thread stretching out from the warp. It deserves to have a new master. Okay, there's nothing iconoclast here. Thank God. Alright, we're going to go with dogmatic on this. I believe I have enough levels in iconoclast. I'm not going to get any benefit from this. But this is what feels right to me. Vox Master Victus. Yes, Lord Captain. I will immediately inform the navigation and artillery decks of the impending maneuver. We did gain some dogmatic. Heinrichs inclines his head. The right choice, Lord Captain. May the sacred exterminatus cleanse this veil of corruption. The bridge is in upheaval. The technomat's prayers mix together in a senseless cacophony, while servitors work hastily to remove a hardened crust of sacred unguents from the warp engine's components. In the middle of all this tumult stands Pascal, with a data slate clutched in his hands, seemingly disconnected from the flurry of activity around him. Crew, heed the word of Magos Hanneman. Pascal, I kindly request that you take charge of this mess. Thank you, your ladyship. You are right. Pascal's voice changes when he addresses the crew. He now speaks with authority and resolve. Tech comrades, heed my instruction. The mayhem immediately subsides, and the crew's actions fall into some indiscernible logic. The Omnissiah's servants start working in sync, and the Binharic clamor becomes a symphony of reports, which the Magos coordinates like a skillful conductor. Admirably done, Pascal. The Omnissiah guides me. The prayers of the tech priests surrounding the cogitator almost drown out the sounds of the bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over the data slate in his hands, extends a macandendrite towards you. Please, take your place at the cogitator, Lord Captain. Let's step up to the cogitator. The huge machine in front of you is lit with dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. The blinking lights and endless rush of symbols and digits on the green background make your eyes water. And a vague sense of alarm simmers in the depths of your mind, the typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of the Omnissiah's creation. Among the numerous controls, you see the mouth of a cyber gargoyle, the same as at the gate to the warrant chamber. Pascal's voice becomes imbued with imperious force. Servants of the machine god, heed my command. Acolytes, Prepare the incense instrumentation for the liturgy of machine spirit propitiation. Senior technomats, recite the prayer to generate a current data report. Operations will be marked with the campanological protocol Omnissiah Rejoice. I must inform you that for the purposes of safety, complete reassembly of the warp sextant and updating of its datasmith blessings are required. If this is not done, then at the launch, the volume of aggregate calculation errors could result in the destruction of the data crypts. But as we do not have 100 hours at our disposal, we must omit this procedure. Pascal looks down at the data slate in his hands. A minor deviation from the rite of operation for the sake of appeasing the spirit. Well, what must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the cogitator guardian, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypts. The dynastic blood extracted from your veins will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it we will offer our prayers so that we may bypass the protective protocol for defective connections and launch the warp sextant. Pascal's voice grows quieter. The laws of the Omnissiah know no exceptions, and so in this ritual I will remain at your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit in whose abode you will be intruding. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain, and may we receive his blessing. I'm going to place my hand in the cyber gargoyle's mouth. The metal jaws clamp down on your hand, breaking your delicate corporeal sheath and releasing warm red liquid into its gullet. At the same moment, the image on the vidscreen changes. Connecting. 1, 2, 3. Success. Operating. Act. What does it all mean? At the sound of your voice, the cogitator's servant, whose bronze-bound skeleton is built into the cogitator housing, shudders. With a screech, its skull rotates towards you and then stops in that position. Benevolent code, a voice receptor. I hypothesize that the defect is located in the analyzer block. I register a reaction to the signal, but no processed response. A temporary override is permissible. Okay. The Magos intently studies the screen. The shell was created on a forge world unknown to me, initiating standard invocation of the machine spirit. Pascal leans over the adjacent panel and sets his hands on the controls. At the same time, a quiet stream of machine code begins pouring forth from his vox. What do I do now? Lord Captain, I now ask you to address the machine spirit. Speak the following command. By my authority, I revoke the inviolability protocol of the warp engine. The voice receptor will receive the vocal entry. Without your sanction, the machine spirit will not accept the data from the warp sextant. Okay, no problem. I just wasn't sure. By my authority, I revoke the inviolability protocol of the warp engine. One of the cogitator's vid screens turns red. Pascal sees this and raises his hand, signaling to the rest of the tech priests, then withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Servants of the Omnissiah, make now the offering of cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit, so that it may be filled with their true and calibrated data. May the Omnissiah have mercy on our souls. In meek solemnity, the acolytes offer up the cleansed data crypts to the warp engine, one after another, repeating prayers of exaltation. After anointing the contacts with sacred unguents, Pascal inserts them in the cogitator slots. Your head begins to spin from the holy censer's foul-smelling clouds of smoke, and from the loss of blood that the cyber gargoyle continues to drink from you. The world swims before your eyes. Let this mechanism awaken in renewed purity. Pascal enters a sequence of commands and raises his head, watching the vid screens. Suddenly he stops dead. No! His fingers fly over the command runes, entering command after command. His mechadendrites, clicking their pinchers, pull at one lever after another. The vid screens fill with strings of symbols, completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying something to the Magos. Say nothing and do not interfere. After a few seconds, one of the data crypts mounted on the cogitator begins to emit sparks. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next bursts into flame and gives off a foul-smelling smoke. Around you, the Omnissiah's servants break off from their prayers, and someone bursts into frantic pleading. Pascal mournfully grates out, "The mass of errors in the warp sectant's calculations is destroying the data repositories. The offering did not appease the ship's spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motive force. We are trapped. Perhaps an alternative Ryzen protocol or an emergency launch of the auxiliary coils." The tech priest bends over the cogitator, but something in his pose and movements reveals his desperation. While the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks and its static image changes. Pascal's too engrossed to notice. Read the information on the screen. Input, pack, stable true, stable false, check, init, perturb, disturb, query. Can I speak to him? Let me try. Machine spirit, can you hear me? The cogitator's servant creaks quietly in its joints, a sound that is drowned out by the Benharic hymns and the tapping of command runes. Prompt, ping, query, rescue, query. I think I want to do number 3. I'm gonna beg him, basically. Oh, hallowed machine spirit, in the name of the Omnissiah and the Emperor, reveal unto us your power and guard us against our doom. Pascal echoes your sentiments with the triumphant sounds of a Benharic hymn. Pascal's next vocalization goes unsynthesized as he sees the vid screen begin to stabilize, one after another. The strings frenetically galloping across the green background are replaced with stable images or regularly updating status reports. Only one monitor remains red. The tech priest Vox crackles in shock, but his report is as clipped and clinical as ever. Registering warp sextant activated. Registering data stream stabilizing. Registering 0 data errors found. Reporting the warp engine is ready for translation. Oh, this is awesome, I think. I think. After a pause, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a Category 3 miracle fulfilling the criterion. Thou shalt witness the mechanism that toils in glorification of its function and in defiance of deactivation. Master Helmsman Revor. Lord Captain, Revor here. The crew are almost finished carrying out the orders given earlier, and I've just received confirmation from the engineering halls. I don't know what you did, but the warp engine's up and raring to go. We're ready to begin the translation, your ladyship. The Lord Captain speaking. I give the order to commence translation to the warp. We cannot waste any more time. Waiting for you to ascend the captain's throne, Lord Captain. May the Emperor protect us. Here we go, guys.
The Von Valancia's flagship made its way out of the doomed star system. As the void ships plunged deeper into the Coronis expanse, the rogue trader's subjects bid a formal farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects, the crew gathered their strength and braced themselves for whatever was to come next.
Vox Master Victus. Lord Captain, allow me to report. Our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Orselio informs me that we have reached the point where we can translate to real space in the Verbundus system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are waiting your permission to begin. The Verbundus system is home to Footfall, the only outpost with a functioning wharf in the Coronis expanse. The tech priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp and allow the servants of the Omnissiah to inspect and heal the void ship's wounds in the dock. The prayers and rituals will take some time. Master Zachariah Weiss has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Immaterium. The Liege of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rogue trader of the von Valancius dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was tinted with shades of pleading. I quote, "Apparently the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible." Argenta chimes in, "Footfall, the place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand. Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso will most likely expect a visit from me. I imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well." Okay. Heinrichs, "I will be leaving your void ship when we arrive on Footfall, Anya. Once that is done, consider the Lord Inquisitor's task complete." Pascal, "I hereby inform the rogue trader that during a comprehensive system inspection, this unit discovered data clusters within the captain's cogitator that are concealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher and a sacrament of a logarithmic authorization. Unit Anya von Valancius has been added to the access list and assigned the identifier Keeper 2. The unit can access the data from the captain's cogitator, provided that she possesses the decryption key." You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in his voice. All right, we're just going to go straight in. "Tell the Lady Navigator I give her leave to make the translation into real space." Victus begins issuing instructions. The massive ship appears to change with her every word. The bridge is set in motion as hundreds of people start to prepare for the shift to real space, and measured chanting fills the corridors to safeguard the vessel and its crew. Vossmaster Victus, "One more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Lady Theodora's demise and you inheriting the title. Liege Tokara will be informed. It is required so that we can use the dock, and besides, he is expecting a personal audience with you. He will not meet with an unknown person of unclear standing. However, there is still the matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive on the station with the proper pomp and ceremony, or choose to visit incognito." Maybe I should find out why I would want to do this. Let me do that. According to Footfall's unwritten laws, rogue traders enjoy special privileges that exceed even the power of the Liege. However, they may choose not to exercise those privileges in certain situations. Arriving incognito will give you more room for maneuver, while an official visit will allow you to directly intervene in local affairs. All right. "I shall explain." Oh, thank you, Abelard. "As per this unwritten rule, every rogue trader arriving at the station has the right to veto any of the Liege's decisions. But there's a catch. The Coronis Expanse is home to several influential rogue trader dynasties, and Footfall is where their interests intersect." I see. Of course, that does not prevent certain persons, namely Caligus Winterscale, from subtly pulling the strings on Footfall. If you, as a new rogue trader, start your career with an official landing and a parade in your honor, the other dynasties may see this gesture as the newcomer challenging their spheres of influence. Oh, that is so true. I did not think of that, Abelard. I totally forgot about the other rogue traders. I don't see this as a bad thing, necessarily. Old Man Winterscale may take slight offense. Chorda will be put on her guard, but you have just risen to prominence, and most people in the Coronis Expanse have not even heard about Lady Theodora's departure. It must be made clear that the banner of Von Valencia soars as high as ever. Oh, well, you had me convinced there to be incognito, and now not so much. If I may, I would recommend arriving incognito. You will have plenty of opportunities to savor the sweetness and the burden of power, but right now is the last time you can take refuge in obscurity. This way, your arrival will not draw much attention, and the people will treat you as a person, and not the almighty sovereign appointed by the Emperor. It could turn some situations to your advantage. Okay, we're going to go incognito for now. It will be done, Lord Captain. With your gracious permission, I will return to my duties. Okay, everybody. This is where we're going to end this episode. Boy, a lot happened today, and we finished the first chapter. Thank you for joining me today. Please give a like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye-bye.